Hey, Jake.
啊，Lacey 你好。
Yeah, happy Chinese New Year. 新年快乐.
哦，哇，新年快乐！啊，哇，
Yeah, I just wanted to appreciate your culture.
哦，谢谢。哎，其实我也有礼物要给你。
Oh, really?
No，
Bud Light? Hot dog?
Happy American New Year.
Ni howdy. Hey, who's got two thumbs and is ready for the new year? This guy. Am I right? I tell you what, it ain't New Year's, Ralph. Fireworks.
Oh, holy mackerel. Is this real?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what else is real.
God loves you.
What the heck?
I love you. Ford Mustang.
Wow, Jake, that was beautiful.
Amen. You gonna eat that hot dog?
Kind regards, masses, it's me, High Bike, and I am back with some more Hakuoki Chronicles of Wind and Blossom. The song that we're listening to for pre-stream was, this is the video title, Pizza Time theme from Spider-Man 2, but it's a Masayoshi Takanaka song, and it's uploaded, or done by Wanye. This guy does a lot of Masayoshi Takanaka style songs of usually video game music. There might be some other ones on here too, but yeah, Masayoshi Takanaka, he's a city pop guitarist, and his style like usually tends to consist of, you know, that guitar with the kind of little, I don't know if that's like a salsa samba kind of beat, but yeah, it's just very catchy. It just makes you want to do a little dance. But the Pizza Time theme in the first place, the original song is called Funiculi Funicula. It's a traditional Italian song. But yeah, no, it is funny. The Spider-Man 2 version. If I flip the pizza, Bucciarati's gonna flip. Right? Yeah. Oh no, not the pizzas. But yeah, how are we doing today, Jacob? What's up? But yeah, the Pizza Time minigame, or maybe side quest, whatever you want to call it, from Spider-Man 2, the video game, just iconic. But yeah, it's honestly a fun, good cover of that song. So yeah, and then the pre-stream video. So I saw it on my Instagram feed, but it's also on YouTube. It is called Happy Chinese American New Year. The hearts, the emoji with the hearts, us, and then it's got a rocket emoji, firework emoji, and hashtag ni howdy, hashtag funny, hashtag crush, hashtag K-pop FYP, hashtag Asian boys. But it's uploaded by Jake Singh. The Singh is a $. But I love, yeah, that transition into the American outfit was really smooth. Like I fucking love the outfit. It's got, you guys see fucking like the Lowe's logo. What is that, Bud Light? And he's got the cowboy hat. Like it's just all American. It looks almost denim too. Like it looks like a fake denim. But I love the knee howdy, of course. And then and just being all like, "Are you gonna eat that hot dog?" And then the comedic timing of the firework blast. But yeah, good stuff. But how are you guys today? I'm just glad this day's over with. It's been a busy, weird day. I'm just glad to be here. You made a small sale today, but it was with an elderly lady who had 30 minutes of technical issues. Oh, that can be frustrating. It's like, god damn. But at least you made the sale. And it's an elderly lady too, so I think you're gonna get some good money from this one. Yes, the face cam is Miku coded. Like, I saw it on my YouTube. Like, you know how YouTube has the community posts? I do like the memes that I see every now and then, and like, it's just a hose. Like, here, I'll increase the size. I even posted the full picture on Miku's channel, like, you know, our Miku in the server, because I figured, you know, this would be perfect. And I'm like, this is Miku if she smoked Beth. But yeah. You make more money when they live? No, that's not how it works. Trust me, I know how it works. No, I kid, but listen, but I'm just trying to be goofy. But yeah, no, isn't it crazy how we, you know, after seeing like maybe like certain characters, like Miku has, or let me start that over. Hatsune Miku has such an iconic character design where it's like, it's simple but it's effective. Like it stands out, and like, if you see anything remotely like, with the teal green or light blue, I don't know, the hair color kind of changes, but and then you got the gray black color scheme, like the light gray. It just, we just associated that. We associate that with Hatsune Miku. It's like, what the fuck? But yeah. Let me go ahead. I'll start the game. Yeah, I just woke up from a nap. I needed that. I'm just like, ugh. I went grocery shopping too, but I fucking I feel bad because I was supposed to get like a beef ribeye and onions for Kyler to make the beef bowl style dish that we kind of got from the Persona cookbook. But there's like a trout recipe from the same cookbook that I wanted to make, and I totally forgot to add those ingredients, and I'm just like, God fucking damn it, I was just there. But yeah, my nap was, I think I fell asleep around 9:11. I think. I know it was 9-ish, and I woke up at 11. So like a little less than 2 hours. Like my naps kind of tend to be a little short. Let me sound. Like I woke up so, like my eyes felt so heavy, but I did need to take a shower after, so I feel more refreshed now. My eye patches are already taken care of, so I'm not stepping out to take those off. But yeah, now I'm here. Honestly though, if I do start crashing out later tonight before the 2-hour runtime, I might just end it there. But we'll see. Right now I feel a little more awake. But to recap last time on Hakuoki, so now Soma and Nomura know that Yukimura is a girl because of the incident in which Miki was trying to, get a bath with Yukimura, because it's like, oh, hey, we're both men, right? Like, he was suspecting Yukimura. And I do believe that they shared, the secrets of the Furies with at least Soma, because he did have a run-in with Kazuma, and Soma almost died. But he actually got saved by Sanan at the nick of time. Like, the Sanan and the Fury Core came in. And, let's see. Ito left the Shinsengumi, meaning Heisuke and Saito left as well. And now we're supposed to be helping investigate Ito, I think, is what I remember. I just remember making the wrong choice of like, help Heisuke. Or we have to, yeah, we're gonna go help the boys get Heisuke back. But there was a choice, it was help with Ito, and I'm like, okay. Or kill him. Yeah. Kill! But yeah, that's where we're at right now. As for my day, like, it's just like, it's been a blur, and like, the beginning of the morning, so there was this guy, and he wasn't in our system with the name he gave us and the date of birth, but our lead for Peck said that he looked familiar. And the client recognized me too, but I didn't recognize him. I'm just like, I'm sorry, I see so many people, I don't recognize you. But he kept asking for paperwork for a referral somewhere, which, is not something that we do. So when I was getting him from Peck, like, I was trying to explain that to him to make things easier. I'm like, yeah, if you want medical records, you can do that at the front, I can help you out. And he's like, no, you guys can connect me with my caseworker. He doesn't have a team. And I'm just like, we're just kind of in a loop here. And the Peck staff are just like, yeah, wait, you guys can link him to a mental health team for that, right? And I'm like, it's a process. He's not going to get paperwork today, but sure, I mean, we can link him if he wants to. And so I bring him back to Quick, and, he's demanding the paperwork again. And in the end, he didn't actually want a mental health treatment team. I don't know, because like at that point I had to go sit up front to help work over there. But I did see him up front later, and he was still demanding the lobby ladies and I, like, hey, yeah, I need this paperwork, and I'm trying to explain to him again. And then the same PEC staff that was talking to him was like, you know, just kind of casually walks up, and then he offers the guy like some snacks, and then the guy just walks off, no problem. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, and it was so annoying too, because there were other, like, so the guy was black, and, you know, there were other black clients in the lobby, and he was, like, trying to, I don't know, like, it kind of seemed like he was trying to instigate shit, like, he's just like, oh, the fellow black man over here, or whatever. And then, like, there was a staff member who was black, who just, like, passed by, doesn't have anything to do with the lobby or Quick or whatever, just a, you know, separate team member. And he's like, oh, I want to talk to that black person. And I'm like, sir, I'm sorry, that person can't help you. I'm all you got right now. But yeah, no, it was just annoying. And then I found out from Kyler 2.0, because she was the one who worked with them, that he goes, like, his thing is going around using fake names, fake social security numbers, fake birth dates, just to see what he, like, you know, what he can get from anywhere. And I'm like, okay. And I do remember there was this guy, he had a Jamaican accent, but he also used a fake name. I don't think this is the same guy, unless, like, you know, he's good at pulling off accents. But, like, yeah, that was that happened, and all while this was happening, apparently, like, a frequenter that we have, like, who tends to be very aggressive, was, like, causing shit in the lobby. Like, this was before I brought the paperwork guy back over to Quick. I was just still talking with him at PEC. But it sounded like a shit show up at the lobby. And he was in the area, I guess, and it's like, oh, he might come back. He never did come back, but he might be around for night shift or something. And then I had this lady. So I was told that she was hearing voices that were telling her to kill herself. So I worked with her. And, well, when she got there, she was cool. She was just tired, but she was all like, I'm confused. The voices are, you know, I don't hear them now, like when I was talking with her, but while she was waiting in the Quick lobby, she was like, the voices were telling me about George Bush. Like, they were telling me things about George Bush, and they were telling me to repent and to fast. Like, you know, refraining from food. And I'm like, okay. How do you feel about that? And she's like, I don't know. Also, the voices are worshiping me. And then, like, you know, all this shit about, like, you know, demons trying to attack her, or I don't, like kind of like some weird, like, the voices are like, you know, I'm blood liable, but they worship me, and I'm like, oh, okay. How do you feel about that? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I guess it's not too bad. But, you know, I'm just telling her, like, you know, if they tell you anything bad, you know, do thought stopping, like, you know, just think positive thoughts, or, like, you know, say no to the voices. Hallucinating low tier god, right? Yeah, just say no to low tier god and you're good. But yeah, just thinking on it, it's weird. I actually had a conversation with my coworkers about this, but, you know, usually the people that we get, or like the typical, I guess you could say, stereotype or whatever, is like, you know, you hear someone says they're hearing voices, and it's always like, oh, you know, it's like bad shit. It's like, oh, they tell me I'm worthless or whatever. But there are people who have, you know, positive voices that, you know, maybe, like, there was this HIPAA Hogs boss was talking to us about this, and she was telling us that she saw a client in one of the inpatient hospitals that her voices told her jokes. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what? I wouldn't... That's honestly not too bad. So it's like, it's kind of a nice breath of fresh air to kind of see these people where it's all like, oh yeah, you know, the voices are telling them positive things, so it's like, cool. What if I had voices telling me awful puns all the time? Well, okay. Yeah, I'd want to kill myself there, right? Jesus Christ. No, that'd be terrible. But, 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 it could be worse. So, honestly, maybe I'd learn to live with it. I learned to live with Kyler's stupid ass dad jokes, so. The backseat gamer voices, that's a different story. Yeah, I'm just gonna. You're just gonna see me, like, you know, just sitting here playing, and I'm just gonna be randomly like, shut up! Shut the fuck up! God damn. Yeah, in that case, I would take the awful puns. Unfortunately. But, yeah, no, it's just, And then, our practicum student, she had to write 2 crisis notes, like, one of them was going to Peck, the other one, is actually staying with us overnight, and he's gonna talk to Dick in the morning. But, Bodhi sent him home, because, like, so he's a veteran, so, you know, Bodhi also being a veteran, and being 5150 certified would, you know, get along well with his client, and he did have a connection, but, you know, the client's still pretty at risk, but he has a CPAP machine, so we had to... Bodhi let him go back home to get the CPAP machine, and then he was walking back to stay a quick overnight. But in case, you know, he escalates, you know, like, things get worse for him, I did let Kyler know he's working. And Peck is also aware, too, of what's going on, so in case he has to go over there. But, yeah, no, that's just, like, you know, just highlights of the day, but it's kind of, it's just been a little hectic. But yeah, we can finally kick back and relax with some story time. Afterwards, Ito accepted Kondo's invitation and visited his home. Dang, that's crazy. Is this Ito's quarters? That's crazy. We're just like straight up going up to him here. Oh, never mind. We're inviting him to a room. Okay. This is gonna go well.
揺れ動く昨今の政局を見るにつけ、我々も今後の身の振り方を真剣に考えねばと思うようになりましてな。
近藤さん、堅苦しい話は後にしねえか。まずは口の滑りをよくしねえとな。
Hijikata reached out for the sake and poured some for Ito. Oh, okay. I see how this is. Alright. I know, that's so out of character. It is totally sus, yeah. Hijikata being casual, offering fucking alcohol? Yeah. Something wrong.
そう言うなって。俺たちはあんたみてえに額があるわけじゃねえから。理解するのに時間はかかったが、ここに至ってようやく気づいたんだよ。あんたが言ってたことが正しかったってな。
このお酒に毒が入っているなんてことはないでしょうね。
なんだ、信じられねえか？それじゃ。
Yeah, even Ito thinks no, he knows something's up. Hijikata poured Ito's sake into his own cup and drank it all. Damn! This is so weird.
失礼なことを申し上げてしまったわね。それじゃ、私も。
Ito took a sip of the sake. As the alcohol got into his system, Ito's cheeks grew rosy and his mood lightened considerably. Here we go. Oh my god, not the fucking drunk sprite.
新論を著し、外位の危機を訴えたのがいつなのかご存知？40年前ですわよ、40年前。その間、幕府が一体どれだけの改革を成したというのです？
確かに伊藤さんがおっしゃる通りですな。幕臣の方々は腰が重くていかん。
Wait, I don't think Kondo even drank anything.
そうでしょう、そうでしょう。一説には幕府は蝦夷地を担保にして異国から。
Oh, I see. This is a way to gather intel. Clever, clever.
なんと、それは本当ですかな？
確かな筋から得た情報ですわ。 一度西洋に売り渡した領地は戦に勝って取り戻すしかないというのに、あんな外交音痴たちに国を任せていたら早晩日本は西洋の植民地となってしまいますわ。
なるほど。近藤さん、こりゃ俺たちもいろいろと考え直した方がいいかもしれねえな。
そうだな。
Wait a minute, what is Yukimura even doing here?
今後も我々をご指導くださいますかな。
ええ、もちろんですわ。学べばすなわちこうならずというでしょ。あなた方も絶えず学び
Lurking in the
続ける
shadows.
頭
Actual
固くなって
cannibal
し
Yukimura.
まいますわ
Damn, imagine she just goes up and eats Ito.
あ
Ah, no, no, no.
道は違えど目指すところは同じだ。もう一杯どうだ、伊藤さん。
いただきますわ。このお酒、とても飲みやすいわね。
Here you are. Okay, there she is. It was perfectly normal alcohol, no poison or drugs. But we were making him drunk in order to murder him. Whoa! Oh, okay. I thought they were just trying to get intel. Okay. How was that any different than me pouring poison straight into his cup?
あら、震えてるわよ。大丈夫？気分でも悪いのかしら？
いやいや、心配には及びませんよ。伊藤さん相手に緊張しているのでしょう。
あらあら、私のことがそんなに気にかかるのかしら？いけない。
Oh my god, what? Ara.
確かにな。手と顔に
Damn.
こういう場にもそろそろ
Damn. The subtle message was clear. Hide your emotions. I swallowed and nodded. It had been my choice to help with Ito's assassination. I had to pull myself together. Yes, I'm sorry.
まあまあ、お酒の席ですもの。固いことは一個なしですわ。
さすが伊藤さん、器が大きいですな。
他に何か聞きたいことはあるかしら？
Oh, he's
何
open,
でも答
open.
えてあげてよ。
Time passed and alcohol flowed.
今日は大変有意義なお話ができましたわ。それでは、ごきげんよう。
ええ、それでは。道が暗いですからお気をつけてお帰りください。
Okay, well that's interesting to see what, you know, what leads up to the assassination. Because we always just
誰
hear
に聞いていらっしゃるのかし
Ito
ら？
was assassinated. How?
この私を殺そうとする不届き者なんて、この京にはいませんわよ。
We'll see about that. With these parting words, Ito took his leave. Yeah, famous last words. Press X to doubt. He'd been plied? He'd been plied with so much alcohol that he drunkenly stumbled off into the darkness. I watched him disappear. It would be the last time I would see him alive. I just quietly stared. I suddenly felt Kondo's big hand on my shoulder. Those yaoi hands.
悪いものだ。
これが俺たちの選んだ道、俺たちの役目だ。言われるものじゃねえってのはよくわかってる。前に進むためにはこんな汚い仕事だってこなさなきゃならん。
I was too conflicted to speak. I was the one who chose to be here, but still. Oh, okay, Hijikata points.
近藤さん
Alright.
ついでにお前もあんまり深く背負い込むな。今回のことを計画したのも指示したのもこの俺なんだからな。
At least they're kind of acknowledging how fucked up this was. Yeah. Like, they're self-aware. The aftermath was not something I cared to remember. Ito, too drunk to fight back, was quickly dispatched by the men waiting for him. But the night was far from over. Battle and bloodshed waited at Aburano Koji for Nagakura and those sent to ambush the guardians of the imperial tomb. Fate waited for Okita, convalescing at the headquarters in Fudodo village. For them, for all of us, waited a night after which nothing would be the same. Random Okita mention? Yeah. And I think that's where he goes to retire. But, you know, he's too sick. It had been such a long, long day. Yeah, I feel you, Yukimura. Finally, the night drew to a close. It was just before dawn, when the sky was at its darkest. I sat beside Soma, who stood as the sentry while we gazed up at the sky. Excuse me. I know. I want to. I should, but I've just been feeling so restless. Following the assassination of Kashitaro Ito, an incident later known as the Aburano Koji incident erupted between the Shinsengumi and the Guardians. And then, most likely in order to buy time, Kazama had attacked the compound. I forgot that happened. Since most of the Shinsengumi captains were occupied elsewhere, we suffered heavy casualties. With so much happening, the night had dragged on without giving us a chance to rest. Only just recently did things finally settle down. I was sure the other warriors were completely exhausted, sleeping as if they'd never wake again. From what Haruda had told me, it seemed like the battle at Aburano Koji was a bloody, drawn-out one. It was only supposed to be between the Shinsengumi and the Guardians, but the Satsuma and the demons ended up participating as well. In the middle of the fray, Heisuke had suffered a fatal wound. As they were carrying his unconscious body to the compound, I had felt the blood drain from my entire body. I want to stay up just a little while longer. I'm worried about Heisuke. Thanks, Soma. He was doing his best to offer me some support, and I appreciated him for it. At any rate, all we could do was pray for the best. I blinked a few times to fight back the tears, and I turned to face Soma. So, what became of the Guardian members, apart from Heisuke? This game shows you just how heroic these last samurai of the Shinsengumi are. Getting a guy drunk to kill him, using his body to lure out his men for an ambush, and transforming people into bloodthirsty monsters. Man, for real. So heroic. Right. Makes sense. As someone who was somewhat involved in Ito's death, the reality of this stung quite a bit. I knew, though, that we had no other choice, but I couldn't help but think about whether all of this was the right thing to do. I knew I shouldn't be thinking this way. What if there was another way? If there was something else we could have done besides killing Ito, this wouldn't have happened. Huh? The fuck? Who's this? A deep voice came from nowhere to interrupt me in the middle of my thought. The person who stepped forward before us was a man with a fury burning in his eyes. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. I kind of had a feeling this guy was going to be more relevant in this route. Maybe he's our main enemy. Miki? Oh, shit. Oh, that's fucked. Sayaka? Oh, yeah, true. No, that's Saburo.
油工事で新選組と薩摩の連中に襲撃された。
Miki was glaring at the compound with tired eyes, and he was almost dragging himself to move forward. Blood dripped from his ragged, torn clothing, and he still had his sword drawn.
そこで服部が死んだ。もうないも死んだ。東堂も死んだ。それに兄貴も。
Miki's body swayed back and forth. He appeared so disoriented as he drew closer to the compound. When Miki came near to us, Soma drew out his sword.
待て、ミキサブロー。どこへ行くつもりだ。
No, he do got a point this time. Yeah. Like, I get it. I'd be pretty pissed off too. You know, seeing all my comrades dead at these guys' hands.
決まってんだろ。近藤と土方のところだ。気を殺すよう予言した土方を殺す。許可を出した近藤を殺す。止めなかった幹部どもを殺す。腕をちぎって足をもいで心臓をえぐって首をはねて。
Man.
てめえらのムクロも今日の辻に片っ端から晒してやらなきゃ俺の気が済まねえんだよ。ふざけるな。
You know, it is cool to see this because it's like all the other routes we hear Ito, you know, he gets killed, but nothing about this guy. So it's, you know, it's good. It's cool to see a realistic reaction from him. It's like, yeah, okay, of course this would happen. Tiff, I'm so fucking mad.
お前の勝手にはさせない。この俺がさせやしない。また邪魔するって。どけよ犯人前が。
Ooh. Wow, yeah, look at this. That's fire. It looks so cool.
あんたの剣は直線的すぎる。怒りに任せてただ振るっているだけだ。これならあの風間千景の方がよほど早かった。強かった。腰を振るぜ。一丁前に剣を語るんじゃねえよ。そもそもあんたの恨みは筋違いだ。先に局長の暗殺を企てたのはそちらだと聞いているぞ。だったらどうした。近藤なんざ侍になりたいだけの大山の大将じゃねえか。学もねえ、時流を読むこともできねえ、刀を振るうだけの田舎者風情が。こんなやつより俺の兄貴の方が新選組をうまく扱えたってもんだ。だから局長を殺して隊を乗っ取るつもりだったのか。そんな勝手が通ってたまるか。
The shrieking clash of their blades meeting was hurting my ears as sparks cut through the darkness. I couldn't just sit here watching them fight. I had to do whatever I could to help Soma. Soma, hang in there. I'm going to call someone. Pocket-san, shit-shaw. As I attempted to make a run for the building, Miki clicked his tongue and darted towards me. His eyes, glowing with vengeful fury, glared as if to stab me.
近藤たちに伝えとけ。俺はお前らを許さねえ。いずれこの手で喉笛かき切ってやるってな。
He flashed one last hateful expression before turning and running off. Yep, this is totally gonna bite us in the ass later on. Soma stuck his sword into the ground out of frustration and fell to his knees. Usually this guy just dies off screen, right? But here we are. He's gonna be important this time. Soma, are you hurt at all?
大丈夫です。それより近藤局長に報告を。
Right. We ran into the compound, but I couldn't shake Miki's threats from my head. For us, Ito presented a threat as a rival for Kondo's power, and his plan to assassinate Kondo made it impossible for us to ignore him. But for Miki, his anger and threats came from what we did to a member of his family. Even after Miki had disappeared, his curse echoed over and over in my head, giving me anxiety over what he might do. Finally, the break of dawn came after a long night. After hearing different reports from different people, we were finally able to see the whole picture. Kazuma's attack on the compound was a diversion, which resulted in many wounded soldiers, but luckily no deaths. On the contrary, the Aburano Koji incident had resulted in 4 deaths among the guardians of the Imperial Tomb, including Ito. The fallen were all former Shinsengumi warriors, so I had been familiar with some of them. No deaths! Ito, Molnai, Hattori, and Heisuke. At least, that's what was publicly announced. Heisuke was now dead in the eyes of the world. Womp womp. What? Heisuke, there you are.
なんだ相馬かびっくりさせんなよ
A familiar voice had returned in the dojo, which was dim and empty during these hours. Heisuke stood alone, and he smiled wryly as he turned to face us.
変な話だよな御領絵寺に入るときもうお前らとは二度と会えねえかもって思ってたのにまさかこんな形で戻ってくることになっちまうなんてさ
How do you feel?
おかげさんでなんともねえってほら見てくれよあれだけ深い傷だったのにもう傷跡一つ残ってねえだろ
Heisuke laughed lightheartedly as he swung his arms back and forth. Just like he said, there was no sign that he was hurt at all. That didn't surprise me. Heisuke couldn't go out in the sun anymore, but his body could heal at a superhuman rate. Now, he was a fury. Heisuke,
そんな顔すんなって正直言うとさよく覚えてねえんだ羅刹になっちまった時のことは痛くて苦しくて死にたくなくてそれで気づいたら羅刹になってたあんな力に頼るぐらいなら死んだ方がマシって思ってたのにな
Heisuke was taken aback, as if he had said something to embarrass himself. Although the wounds all over his body had disappeared, as if he'd never fought at all, there was still a hole left in his heart, or at least that was the impression he gave.
で、俺を探してたみたいだけど、どうした？
はい、宣告。土方副
An
長に頼まれて
Ito-shaped
ます
hole. Whoa.
今後の東堂さんの生活に不便がないように取り計らえって。
そういやそっか。これからはできねえことが増えるんだ。日中にお前ら連れて大通りの茶屋で団子食い歩くのも。佐野さんや新八さんと酒を飲みに行くの。
What could we even say to Heisuke at this point? He was still alive, but for all intents and purposes, he was dead to the world. He now had to make do with navigating the rest of his life in the dreariness of the night.
東堂さん、俺たちにできることがあったら何でも言ってください。
Yes, of course. We'll do anything to cheer you up, Heisuke. I'm not sure if anything I make would be as good as the shops in Kyoto, but I can make dango.
原田さんたちと飲むんだったら酒の買い出しも毎日行きますから。
お前らな。それ慰めてくれてんのか。
Even if we weren't doing the best job, our intentions had been read clearly by Heisuke. His expression softened a little.
けど、酒の買い出しか。
Oof. He doesn't know, right? Right?
そこまで似てねえのにさ。相馬を見てるとどういうわけか。あいつのことを思い出しちまう。
Who? Yeah, what guy?
伊吹龍之介。
Oh, okay. I thought I'd heard that name before. I was trying to think of where I'd heard it before, but Heisuke gave me a hint.
前に名前だけちらっと言ったけど、お前は面識のねえ相手だよ。あいつが新選組にいたのは、お前らがまだいなかった頃のことだしさ。
なら元大使ということですか。
いや、あいつは一緒にいたけど大使じゃなかった。
He was one of you guys, but not a warrior? I was in a similar position, so I couldn't help but feel a certain kinship. Oh, wow, I wonder why. If what Heisuke had said were true, then there was someone else like me in the Shinsengumi. Someone in my position.
あいつの
Yeah,
話
they like
は
having that one
楽しい
person.
話ばかりじゃねえけど、それでも聞きたいなら話してやるよ。
Ooh, story time! Ooh, excuse me.
浪士組の話を。
Heisuke looked at me as he asked, and I said, I don't really want to know. Wow, sit down and listen. Let him tell the tale of Ibuki. I'd love to hear it. Ryunosuke Ibuki. If you want to hear about that, buy our previous game. Can you imagine? That's what he says right here. Let me just make sure that's right. Yeah, okay, of course that's right. How could she possibly turn down a story about Ibuki given by Heisuke? I had never met him, nor had I heard about him. I wasn't even sure what he looked like, but... Excuse me. I'd love to know more about him, Heisuke. It'd be so funny if he looked really similar to Yukimura. But of course we know he doesn't. I was urged by a strange curiosity to learn more about him, so we nodded towards each other.
俺は新選組に入って日が浅い。だからこそ知りたいんです。俺の知らない昔の新選組の姿を。先輩たちが何を引き継いで何を背負ってきたのかを。
Yay! More solo points. Actually, now let's look at the warrior record. Does it still say 3/3? God, that's so stupid, 3/3. Okay, there it is, full bloom. Well, why even put the 3/3 though? That's so weird. But okay, we're on the right track. I guess at this point everything should be new? Question mark? We'll see. Heisuke smiled brightly, and he took a deep breath before beginning his story. A story about a time before us. About the Roshigumi. Aside from Kondo's designation as chief, there was another position known as the head chief. Oddworld Abe's Exodus begins with a recap of Odyssey, but when it gets to describing the ending, the narrator says, "Go buy the stinking game." That's so funny. That's clever. Oh shit, they're actually showing this guy's sprite. Oh, okay. This title was held by someone named Kamo Serizawa.
新選組の元局長ですから、俺も芹沢さんの名前は聞いています。でも、誰も詳しくは語ってくれなかった。その芹沢さんというの
He
は
was an asshole!
どんな人だったんですか？
説明しづらいんだけど、いい人じゃなかったのは確かだな。何しろ勝手に金策するし、島原で大騒ぎを起こしちまうし、商家から賄賂は取るし。それに、この新選組に羅刹って存在を持ち込んだのもあの人だ。
What an asshole.
待ってください。本当にそんな人が組を率いる立場だったんですか？
I could see how Soma would be surprised, given how Kondo led the Shinsengumi. Soma's voice had a hint of judgment, but Heisuke simply smiled back and continued.
確かにろくでもねえ人だったよ。暴力を振るうのもいつものことだったしさ。けどな、あの人がいなかったら、浪士組は食うことさえ
I
で
think
きな
it's
かった。
funny it's got the silent movie aesthetic despite the fact that this is set before silent movies. Yeah, huh?
近藤さんや土方さんには理想があったけど、 あの頃はまだ現実が見えてなかった。
I do think it's more because, like, usually with their flashbacks and stuff, they have this filter over. So, I think that's a little more the direction they're going for, but it's still a good observation.
逆に芹沢さんは現実を見てたんだ。武士を名乗るだけじゃ飯は食えねえってよくわかってる人だった。
It's just funny to use as a filter when you stop and think about it. No, absolutely.
で、その
There
芹
he
沢
is.
さんの小姓代わりをさせられてたのが、さっき話に出てた伊吹龍之介。
I don't remember if he's worn his same outfit. Although, I think his hair is shorter when we see him, like in the other routes, so it's cool to see his original sprite. Boo, 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 air horns. Forced? So he didn't volunteer to join the Shinsengumi?
ああ、龍之介はもともと生き倒れてたのを芹沢さんに拾われたんだ。武士なんて大嫌いって毎日言ってたけど、それでも拾われた義理を果たすためにずっと芹沢さんの世話をしてた。
That was a weird dynamic.
乱暴者の芹沢さんに殴られても蹴られても叩かれてもいつでも逃げる機会はあったのに、結局芹沢さんが死ぬまで去らなかった。
So, how did Serizawa pass away? Even when Serizawa would beat the shit out of little cocksucker, he still stayed.
俺たちが殺した。
It came out of Heisuke's mouth so nonchalantly. Serizawa's behavior became impossible to ignore, so the higher-ups ordered his death. Even with him being a fury, they killed him. Following this whole debacle, Ibuki disappeared.
初めて会った時、相馬が持ってた錦絵があっただろう。あれが元新選組局長芹沢かも。芹沢さんの羅刹になった姿
It
だ。
all comes around full circle.
なるほど。だから俺が錦絵を持っていた時、皆驚いてたんですね。
はあ、羅刹になった芹沢さんの絵なんて龍之介以外に描けるやつはいねえからさ。
Come to think of it, I remembered everyone showing signs of relief. They each had their own thoughts upon seeing the picture. Heisuke paused his story for a moment. Then he looked at Soma.
なあ、相馬。前も軽く聞いたけど、改めて詳しく教えてくれよ。
My thoughts on the picture of Serizawa.
お前はどうしてあの絵を手に入れたんだ？
俺は江戸で路銀をなくした際、ある
Oh,
絵師に一宿一般の恩を受けました。
how nice.
その際彼は好きな絵を持って行って路銀の足しにしろと言ってくれたんです。
So, that man was Ibuki then? Wait, oh, let me. So, that man was Ibuki then?
おそらく。けどあの絵を譲るつもりはなかったんだと思います。数ある絵の中から俺があれを選んだら顔色を変えて慌てていましたから。それでも俺はどうしても気になったんです。脈打つように生々しかったあの絵が。
それが相馬をこの新選組に導いたって思うと因縁めいたものを感じちまうな。
That was the end of the story. Heisuke let a great sigh of relief.
でもさ、本当にほっとしてるんだよ。
And he got with
龍之介
his
のやつが生きててくれて。
love interest.
あいつは浪士組に無理やり連れてこられて、
But of course, they don't know that at this point.
こっちの事情に巻き込まれちまって、それで死んじまったら悲しいもんな。本当によかった。
Judging by Heisuke's relief, I could sense that Heisuke and Ibuki were really close back in the day. It seemed as if knowing Ibuki was alive brought him some well-needed peace of mind. For what it's worth, Heisuke, I think we feel the same about you. I'm also really happy to hear you're alive, no matter what may have happened.
きっと伊吹さんも東堂さんが生きていることを喜ぶんじゃないでしょうか。
Well, I mean... Ooh. No, you won't.
ああいつならきっとそうだ。
Heisuke paused, squinting to think for a second, then turned his back on us and began to walk off.
たくお前らあんまし優しくすんなよな。
When he turned around again, he was wearing the smile that so perfectly fit the old Heisuke. As he slowly dissolved into the darkness, I noticed Heisuke looked smaller than usual. Damn, what? Dissolved is such an interesting way to describe someone, you know, just walking into the dark, or he leaves their sight. Even then, he did his best to provide us some cheer at the end of it all. Heisuke had such a faraway look in his eyes as he reminisced. It was clear he'd changed. I wonder what'll become of Heisuke.
おそらく羅刹隊に入るんだと思います。
He already died once. Do you really think he should keep on fighting? I couldn't presume to know Heisuke's feelings, but knowing how much this had affected him, I couldn't help but ask. Soma began muttering to himself, but his voice was sympathetic.
俺には東堂さんの気持ちも少しはわかる気がします。例えばあの風間や幹のような手強い敵と刃を交えることになった時、俺は先輩を守るつもりだけど、それでももし力が及ばず力尽きかけた時、そこに不可能を可能にする力、約束を果たすことができる力があったなら。
Don't tell me. I wanted so badly to say, please don't protect Yukimura Reimu.
No, nigga. No.
Yeah, this is Yukimura right now.
No. No. No.
Soma. But there was nothing I could really say.
俺はきっと
Soma looked to me, but I couldn't bring myself to answer him. Before November ended, the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb, Ito's faction, underwent serious internal strife. Saito had joined the Guardians as the Shinsengumi's spy, and based on his intelligence report, the Shinsengumi assassinated Ito. The attack on the Guardians eventually became known as the Aburano Koji incident. During this incident, the demons and the Satsuma intervened, and Heisuke suffered a critical injury during the resulting altercation. In order to survive, he chose to drink the serum. At the same time, wait, why? Are we getting an even longer recap? Like, bro, we already been through this. Hold on. Yeah, a sense of dread took root in my heart. Yeah, they just copied, pasted the text. And just, like, made a little, like, very minor changes. Like, dog, why do they have to repeat it again? Like, or they could have at least just gotten rid of the other stuff from, like, the first summary and then just, you know, had this last one. Whatever. The early December 1867. 67. Okay, so, no, this is... We've seen this. Any of the, you know, the bigger black captions. Maybe this one's different. The cold frost of winter was so invasive that even the inside of the compound was freezing. Okita? Okita? Whoa. Okay, yeah, wait, hold on, we gotta see this. I was visiting Okita's room, but I stopped folding laundry to call out to him. It's gotten really cold outside. It's not good for you to stay out in the wind. Why don't we close the door and let you rest a little?
大丈夫。松本先生も言ってたでしょ。
Yeah, I
定期的に
don't
換気もした方
remember
がい
who've
い。
seen this before.
それにそうやって病人扱いする方がよっぽど体に毒だと思うけど。
Oh, Okita, I missed our one-on-one conversations. You might have a point. Okita's tone was light as he looked towards the trees in the inner yard, bored. Seeing Okita more like his usual... Oh, whoops. I totally skipped some words. Seeing Okita like this was nice. He was becoming more like his usual self. But in reality, I knew it was different. Even at this very moment, his illness was eating away at his body. As of late, Okita was having difficulty even holding his sword.
あのさ、そんな顔されてると、こっちの方が気がめいりそうなんだけど。
Oh, sorry. I rushed to meet his eyes, and he stared steadily back into my own. Suddenly, he spoke up.
そういえば、君、最近相馬くんと仲いいよね。
Is that so?
うん、そうです。一緒にいるのもよく見るし。
Well, it's probably because we have some of the same duties. After all, Soma, Nomura and I are all pages.
そういう意味じゃないんだけどな。
Huh? Huh? I missed it. I missed the hole. I was confused, but he simply grinned as if he found the situation entertaining. He didn't bother to elaborate. Oh, but now that you mention it, you may be right. It's true. I have been spending a lot of time with Soma lately. It wasn't only because of our duties as pages either. Yes, Yukimura. Look inside yourself and see it. See the truth. You know it to be true. If I thought about it, it felt as if I spent at least half of my day every day with him. I'd become quite used to him being by my side all the time. Oh, speaking of.
雪村先輩も来ていたんですか?
Oh.
何ですか? 雪村先輩.
Nothing. In came Soma with the platter, and I couldn't help but stare at him, considering his timing. Soma seemed a little nervous that he was the center of attention, but he continued towards Okita.
沖田さん、お粥をお持ちしました。
ああ、そこに置いといて。気が向いたら口をつけるから。
できれば気が向かなくても口をつけていただきたいんですが。
I would be better for you if you ate. Yeah, I'm gonna get better just for you, Okita. That's right, Okita. You need to eat.
過保護だな。そう言われても、今そんなにお腹空いてないんだけど。
Okita accepted the porridge, though his face expressed clearly how much of a bother this was. His face warped at the sight of what was in his bowl.
あのさ、相馬くん。このお粥。
Oh wait.
ネギが入ってるんだ。
He hates green onions, right?
入れないでって言ったのに。お粥一つ満足に作れないの？
すみません。失礼しました。俺もネギを抜こうとしたんですが。通りかかった近藤局長から、何でも食べないと病気も治らないと言われてしまいまして。
This porridge is fucking raw!
わかりました。下げて作り直します。
Damn, the whole thing.
いい。食べる。
Oh, yeah, see, there's the secret. There's the secret. Just mention Kondo and he'll do anything. Okita pouted like a child. He puckered his lips, grabbed the bowl, and gingerly brought it to his lips. His face twisted in disgust, but at least he was eating. I sighed with relief. Okita, you really do only listen when it's Kondo speaking.
何それ? 普段は素直じゃない。
Kondo also ordered that you not have TV anymore. That's illegal. Yay, Okita's magically been cured. I didn't mean it that way. Or I mean, I didn't mean it in that way. I just thought that this shows how much you respect Kondo.
そんなの当然だよ。
Yeah, see?
近藤さんの言葉は僕にとって
Kondo
絶対だ。
is the law. Respect.
ずっと昔からそうだった。僕たちが司令官にいた頃からずっと。
司令官というと天然理心流の道場ですね。
そう、近藤さんの道場で僕や土方さんたちが剣を学んだ場所。
Okita was smiling as he caught himself in a brief moment of reflection. A little while ago, Heisuke had shared with us a story of his days with the Roshigumi, but I hadn't heard much about the time in which they all trained at Chie Hall, a time before the Roshigumi days. I was very curious. Kondo's Chie Hall.
近藤局長や土方副長のような人物を
Are we
輩
gonna
出
be
したん
getting
ですが、
backstories from all the
随
guys
分立
now?
派な道場だったのでしょ
そう思う？
う。もちろんです。きっとその地では知らぬもののない大道場で。
残念でした。司令官は相馬くんが期待するような道場じゃないよ。門弟はほとんどが百姓だし、壁は穴が開いて風が吹きさらし、雨が降った日は雨漏りが止まらない。それを自分たちで修理してたぐらいのオンボロ道場だったからね。
We looked around. Surrounding us now was a newly built, elegant compound. Throughout my time here, I had heard that the early days were tough, but it's hard to imagine, seeing how the Shinsengumi is doing now.
君たちも知らない頃の話だしね。
Okita placed the bowl of porridge on a side table, and he exhaled a cool, visible breath of white.
どうせ寝てるだけでも暇だし、せっかくだから教えてあげようか。僕たちの原点を。
Gather round, gentlemen. It's time for a story. Dang. Alright, here's number 2. He began opening up about Chie Hall, a small dojo where Kondo got his start in youth. The dojo was located in the countryside and couldn't even be compared to the 4 largest dojos in Edo.
だから他の道場からはよく田舎剣術ってバカにされてたんだ。もっともそんなこと言った相手は全部のしてあげたけどね。
それはその頃から変わってないというか、実に沖田さんらしいですね。
Surprisingly, Chie Hall was home to many talented swordsmen who took great pride in their skills, and it became a gathering of very powerful men. Both Hijikata and Inoue were pupils at the time. On top of that, Sannan, Nagakura, Harada, and Heisuke were house guests. Wait, what does that mean? A person housed and fed who is not part of the family. Ah. I thought it was gonna be some kind of... I don't know. I thought it was gonna be some, specific term like, oh, okay, but yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory, whatever. Okita, you were a pupil too, right?
そう。子供の頃から住み込みだったから、通い稽古に来てた土方さんよりも、僕の方が序列は上だよ。近藤さんが不在の時の師範代は僕だったし、そもそも土方さんより僕の方が強いから。
なるほど、そんな秘密があったとは。俺もまだまだだな。
何か言ったかな、相馬くん。
いえ、何でもありません。
Soma frantically straightened his posture. He tried. As if afraid of setting off Okita by saying something that would annoy him.
近藤さんが武士に憧れてたのは、その頃からずっと続いてる。今はみんなに食わせるのが精一杯の貧乏道場主だけど、いつか誰にも恥じない立派な武士になってみせる。そんな夢を語る時の近藤さんはいつも本当に楽しそうだった。だからみんなこの人についていこうって気になったんだ。
Okita stopped himself. He seemed to be remembering his childhood. I spoke up softly. So that dream, it came true. I'm gonna guess here. I like how it's like your choice is either, you know, answer or question. It came true. That whole dream came true, right?
君はそう思う？
Yes. Everyone in Kyoto knows about the Shinsengumi. I fucked up. Hold on. It's the other one. Yeah, now I realize. It was at that moment she knew she fucked up. Alright, did it come true? Would you say that Kondo's dream came true? One could easily come to this conclusion. Kondo had become the Shinsengumi chief, with many men serving loyally under him. He was a warrior through and through. But Okita wasn't so quick to respond. He turned his gaze away from him. What? Did your Fresh Prince parody go through? Like a comment? Cause all I see is the oh wait, no, it's right there. What the fuck? I don't know. I thought this was I don't know. My mind is just like I thought it was a totally different message. Now this is the story turned all about how my life got turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute and just sit there, listen to me. I'll tell you how I joined the Shinsengumi. Bars, bro. Yeah, I'm just reading this sentence is giving me a little stroke because it's like, okay, he turned his gaze away from his, closing his eyes and breathing deeply. Or wait, oh wait, hold on. He's looking at Soma, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I guess he's looking at Soma, but I'm just like, there, you know, seeing three hises here, I'm like, what the fuck? No, that's right. The tired is also kicking in, so I'm like, He asked us a question with a lost expression. He turned his gaze away from his, closing his eyes and breathing his breath deeply. His hissing. The dog.
ねえ、二人とも。武士って何だと思う？
Ooh. A warrior is...
相馬くんならわかるんじゃない？もともと生まれが武士だったわけだし。
Ooh.
元武士の立場からすると、近藤さんたちはどう映ってるの？
That's what that's what he thinks. The butterfly moon. Soma stood up straight in front of Okita. I'm sorry, I'm just the fucking moon, like the moon effect. I'm just imagining that as Soma's actual response to that question. Like, he's just straight up, you know, he's smiling and he's just got this moon there and Okita's just like, what the fuck? Anyways, he continued speaking slowly, putting thought into his words.
最近思うんです。本当の武士は立場や身分だけで決まるものではないんだと。
You were imagining it meant Okita got relationship points with Soma. I know, yeah, it does look like that.
相馬くんも結構過激なこと言うね。
Radical.
聞く人が聞いたら絶対怒るよ。
Oh, excuse me.
それでもです。
Ah.
俺も末端とはいえ武士の家に生まれ武士の社会で生きてきました。しかし
Dog, wouldn't it be so funny if that just somehow summoned Sinesses?
上辺だけの事なかれ主義。どうすればお役目を逃れられるかだけ考える。藩のすべてがそうでないにせよ。俺はそういうところばかり。
You want to believe, right? Like the Sinesses do be a night owl. Is that why you joined the Shinsengumi, Soma?
はい今だから言えますが幕府のために働くだけだったらきっと他に選択肢もあったとは思います。だけどこの新選組のように己の信念を貫いて働こうとする人たちは決して多くない。だから俺は思うんです。本物の武士は権力を傘に着て表に出てくるような連中じゃない。その身を張って治安を守ろうと刀を振るっている人たちだ。
So true, Soma. Yeah, and he's like looking directly at Yukimura. I can feel it. It'd be funny if I played a dating sim and you could see the NPCs getting the same UI effects when they said something another NPC liked. You know, yeah, that would be interesting. I wonder if such a thing exists. Yeah, in this day and age, I think it should exist if it hasn't already. Yeah, like what? Like you should. There should be a dating sim where you compete with NPCs for a different NPC's love. Soma contained so much passion in his heart, and I could see how deeply he believed his words. Okita didn't say a word. He didn't make any snide comments, nor did he joke at Soma's expense. Ooh, that's different. All he said was one phrase.
ありがとう。
Aww.
何その反応。僕がお礼も言えないような人間だと思ってたのかな。
Oh, kinda TBH.
いえ、そうではありませんが、その珍しいというか、俺はずっと沖田さんに嫌われていると思っていたので、礼を言われて。
Yeah, Soma's ha was more of a very light grunt. It is kind of funny how the translators, you know, they translate that as, huh? Or like how do they know when to put the huh or the eh instead of like, you know, question mark or dot 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 question mark? Like it's such an interesting phenomena. Okita, can't you just... The moment was a little spoiled, but Okita just laughed it off like usual. There we go. Classic Okita.
僕が嫌ってたのは相馬くん個人じゃなくて君の立場だけどね。だってそうでしょ。もともと武士の家系だったのにわざわざ身分を捨てて。
Doing the DreamWorks face. Oh yeah, it kinda is, huh?
それで必死に武士を目指してる人たちのところに来るなんて嫌味にしか見えなかった。
そんなことはありません。俺は新選組を。
Yes, Soma, stop rubbing it in everyone's faces.
もう分かってるよ。そんなつもりじゃなかったって。
Okita smiled once more, then fixed a stern gaze onto Soma, as if testing him.
はっきり言うけど、相馬くんの剣の腕は中の上部。
Ah, damn.
雑魚相手には困らないだろうけど、腕の立つ相手にはあっさり切られるだろうね。
はっきり言われるとそれなりにへこみますよ。
でもまあ根性だけはあるからね。近藤さんとこの子の護衛としては重大点ってところかな。
Soma's eyes grew incredibly wide. Although the words were full of sarcasm, as usual, to Soma, I'm sure coming from Okita, they truly meant the world.
僕がまた刀を握れるようになる。その時まで。近藤さんとこの子のこと、しっかり守りなよ、相馬くん。
Until...
はい、及ばずながら全力を尽くします。
Someone will just be getting loud. Back at it again. We've been speaking for quite some time, and Okita crawled back into bed. He dropped the Kun honorific on him. Yeah, like, fuck, dude, damn, that's a big step. And so, we left Okita's room to return to the common room. I think you're amazing, Soma.
俺の何がですか?
He's like shaking, he's screaming internally. He's like, oh my god, you people would have called me awesome. I mean, amazing. No, it's still basically the same thing. Usually, Okita never tells people how he really feels. So for him to share his past with us like that was a very rare sight. I've never seen him entrust anyone else with protecting Kondo. Okita cherished Kondo more than himself, and now he was sharing this responsibility with someone else. Even if it was temporary, for Okita, it must have been difficult to do. Which must have been why he was so reluctant to accept Soma as Kondo's page. But for him to say those words now, it meant that Okita had truly accepted him.
沖田さんの話のおかげで、俺もようやく新選組の原点が分かったような気がします。武士の生まれでないからこそ、逆に武士太郎と努力した。それが新選組の強さ。
Yes, I think it's wonderful. Those who weren't warriors were able to become the best of them.
今まで漫然と武士を名乗っていた過去の自分が恥ずかしいです。
Well, you're a Shinsengumi warrior now, aren't you? I smiled kindly at Soma. As I did so, Soma said,
自分はまだまだです。
He smiled back at me, looking happy from the bottom of his heart. Oh. The Shinsengumi was beginning to waver, and we know about this. We know. The boxes in the background were reminding you of Metal Gear. Damn, what? The boxes, of course! I didn't even realize there were boxes there. Chapter 5. Oh, they're doing a pinky promise. Sees a box. Oh my god, Metal Gear. Man, it'd be like that sometimes. A lot of the Metal Gear memes I see, it's like, oh, haha, funny box, haha, Metal Gear reference, haha. Due to the Imperial Restoration, we can skip that. We know, we know. And then the OG loud boy.
おいおい、かがり火のすぐ脇に大砲なんて置いたのはどこのドイツだ。いい的になっちまうだろうが。
The anticipation of a possible Sacho attack made everyone anxious to hurry with preparations for the war, myself included. Today, I had awoken early to perform some chores around the magistrate. Harada, Nagakura, I'm sure the two of you are tired. I prepared some tea. Would you like some? Yeah, I'm not sure if I remember this. Oh, of course. You know, that reminds me, when I went to the Social Security office in Bakersfield, so... Oh, you know what? Yeah, there's security that checks your bag, like TSA stuff in Bakersfield. But in Santa Clarita, there was security, sure, but they just had cameras. They didn't check your bags or anything. Man, I just realized that. That's fucking... that's crazy, but yeah, to be fair, like, the side of town that I went to wasn't exactly the best, so I'd imagine that's why. But anyways, so I always bring lotion with me, in my bags. You know, the nice smelling Bath and Body Works stuff. The scent I have is Bali Mango. But anyways, the guy pulls out the bottle and he's like, oh, I thought this was alcohol. And I was like, oh yeah, I know, right? Wish I could be day drinking, haha. Yeah, but he got a good laugh out of that. But yeah, no, I guess he thought maybe it was like a flask or something, I guess. But yeah, no, that was just a funny little thing.
バカ言ってんじゃねえよ新八。そういうのは後だ後。悪いな。そっちもずっと動きっぱなしで疲れただろう。
No, I'm perfectly fine. This is my job after all. If I were a man, I would be able to do my part by helping with physical labor, but this was the only thing I knew how to do to prepare for the war. I felt bad, but the two of them laughed, perhaps trying to lighten the mood.
お前がそんな顔する必要はねえよ。戦のことは。
Dude, fucking Nagakuro's still looking off off to the side, just like he's thinking about his sake.
薩長軍の連中なんざパパッと蹴散らしてさっさと俺たちの屯所に戻ろうぜ。
Oh, right. Yes, the fighting would surely be over before we knew it. The two of them had always been so dependable, so I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief as I handed them their tea. You're imagining him staring at Haruda's tits? Man. Yeah, I mean, he was looking in the right direction. Everyone, the weather has been cold recently, so please enjoy some warm tea.
ああ、ありがとう、雪村くん。そこに置いておいてくれるかい？
I also made some rice balls, so please feel free to enjoy some of those as well.
助かる。今日は朝から何も口にしていなかったからな。
I carried tea and a light meal to each of the men. Saito and Inoue, as well as some of their men, had been drawing plans upon a large map.
南に宇治川がある以上、おそらく敵軍が布陣するのは北か西か。
はい。それなりの数が集まれるとなると、ある程度は場所が絞れてくるかと。しかし、薩長軍は随分と規制を上げているようですね。
幕府から実権を取り上げて勢いづいているのだろう。士気が高いとなると厄介だな。
とはいえ、全体の兵数ではこちらが大きく上回っているからね。防衛戦なら案ずることはないさ。私たちは私たちの役目を果たせばいい。
Saito and Yamazaki nodded in agreement. I listened to their conversation as I continued to hand out the tea and food, but it seemed like everyone was convinced, even if the fighting became dire, that we couldn't lose. Just then, echoes of a more serious conversation came from the inner yard, and I looked over. Nah, we'd win. Yes. Is that Hijikata and Soma? I wondered what they were talking about.
皆は勝って当然と考えていますが、俺は敵を侮るべきではないと思います。俺が陸軍隊として参加した長州征伐も幕府のせいぜいが賊軍を懲らしめる程度の戦だと考えていました。
I'm assuming that's for it's Soma's. Yeah, okay. He became a lordless samurai and joined the Choshu expedition as a part of the shogun army. How are we only at like the second summary for him? Like what? Also, I don't think we've ever seen him. Or no, we've seen him in this outfit. It just doesn't happen that much.
しかし、いざ蓋を開けてみれば、結果は幕府
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
だから俺たちも負けるって言ってるのか。
Bro.
いえ、そこまでは。
別に責めてるわけじゃねえよ。構わねえから思ってることを言え。正直に言っちまえば俺も厳しい戦になると思ってるから。
It looked like the two of them were locked in a pretty serious conversation about the war. After Hijikata's urging, Soma seemed to come to his conclusion.
以前の長州征伐の時、俺は最前線でこそなかったですが、それでもよく覚えています。
I'm not asking you to put it frankly. I'm asking you to put it hijikatali. It's stupid.
こちらからは手が出せないのに、薩長の連中が銃を撃つたびに味方が何人も倒れていく恐怖。あの時の敗北感はその場にいないと分かりません。
敵さんの銃との性能差があることは俺も前から憂慮してる。とはいえ戦わないうちから引くわけにもいかねえのは事実だ。
はい、分かっています。
今さらジタバタしたところで銃が手に入るわけでもねえからな。お前の意見は参考にさせてもらう。最悪の事態に備えて退路も確保しとかねえと。
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Seriously?
Oh man. I keep forgetting to pull up my soundbite beforehand. Oh well. Hichikata let Soma know his input was valued. As he turned to walk away, he seemed deep in thought. Soma? I approached Soma timidly, and he seemed to snap out of it immediately as he turned to look at me.
雪村先輩、ひょっとして聞いてたんですか？
Maybe. Yes, but just the end of it. You really think that this battle will be a tough one?
はい、すみません。戦を前にこんな弱
He's jinxing it! He's jinxing it! Although I couldn't hold it against Soma for voicing his concern, even if it sounded like cowardice. I knew that Soma wasn't the type of person to exaggerate for no good reason either.
この心配が杞憂のままで終わってくれればいいんですが。
The other Shinsengumi men hadn't even entertained the thought of losing. However, no matter how much I told myself that it was all under control, I couldn't help but worry. It wasn't even a matter of winning or losing. Regardless of the outcome, I was afraid of thinking what could happen should one of the warriors become...
Seriously?
hurt. As the rumbles of war continued to build, I could only let out a sigh. Luckily, the shogunate army had allied domains, such as the Aizu and the Yugeki unit, which Iba had joined. Oh, that's right, Iba! Yeah. War was rapidly approaching, and the shogunate pulled every ally they could towards Kyoto. Within Fushimi, a war council was called upon to delegate strategy, and Kondo had been invited. Soma, Shimada, and I accompanied him as his guards and assistant, and we were on our way back to the magistrate after the meeting. Gosh.
やはりお偉いさんの相手はいつまで経ってもなれんものだな。
You did well in the council, Kondo.
局長、お疲れでしたら馬に乗られては。
Oh, gee, golly gosh. I don't. It does feel like something Kondo would say. Horse. Behind us was a horse being led by Shimada, and Kondo turned to look at it. So smart, Yosef. However, he simply let out a hearty chuckle, and he shook his head. Imagine a horse sprite came out of nowhere. Now that's a true jump scare. Oh my god, it's scarier than the Sanan jump scare. Oh my god, bro. Yeah, like... Have we even seen any horses in this game? Or any animals either. Like, I don't think they... I don't remember seeing a single animal, like, even in the background. Like, that's not... Yeah. No, it's... Huh. Not as scary as the Nagakura jump scare. Oh yeah, that's the worst one yet. Jesus Christ. God, I'm just imagining a fucking horse sprite now. Just like an insanely detailed horse sprite.
わかりました。
Like, it's just the head just kind of,
前
like,
に降
you
りましょ
know,
う
just kind of peeking in from this. Or not even peeking in, it is just, like, taking up, like, maybe, like, most of Shimada's arm over there on the right. Looking around us, the town of Fushimi was turning into a lovely shade of orange, the sky glowing over all of us. Wow. For some reason, it felt a little melancholy. News of war had reached the citizens too, many of them shutting up their shops indefinitely. Aw. Maybe they mentioned birds in the sky. I mean, no, I know they mention animals and stuff. I'm pretty sure they've mentioned horses too, but we never actually see them drawn. Like, not even as background. Everything's just all empty. Or like, you know, there's people, but there's no animals. Like, you know, the background NPCs. That's it. Oh yeah, of course, the dogs of the shogunate.
それで近藤局長、軍議の様子はどうでした？
Yeah.
やはり皆ピリピリしていたよ。薩長軍の連中が目前に迫っているから当然といえば当然か。
The war is inevitable then, yes?
ああ、薩長が軍を引けば衝突は避けられるだろうが、おそらくそうはならないだろう。奴らは幕府が弱っていると見て、ここぞとばかりに仕掛けてくるはず。きっと今までにない規模の戦になる。新選組としても腕の見せ所だな。
Kondo gripped his fists tightly, and he nodded to himself resolutely. As I watched him speak confidently, I found myself begin to speak out almost instinctively. Aren't you afraid, Kondo?
怖いとは。
Once war breaks out, that means you and all of your men will risk your lives. I realized my statement may have been an affront to the many warriors willing to risk their lives. In response, Kondo's eyes softened, and he answered calmly.
もちろん怖いと。
What?
近藤局長のことですから、てっきり笑い飛ばされるかと。
何も不思議なことはないさ。誰だって死ぬのは怖いに決まっている。だが、俺には死よりもっと怖いものがある。それが何かわかるかね？
Was this some kind of riddle? Dishonor. Oh. Neither me nor Soma could think of an answer, so Kondo smiled and answered for us.
俺が死より怖いと思うのは、己の信じた道を貫けないことだ。自分を裏切り、夢に背を向けて、器用な人間ならそれでも新たな道を見つけられるだろう。
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what you said.
だが、俺は生来の不器用者だからな。きっと一度道を曲げてしまっては、自分が自分ではなくなってしまう。だから思うんだよ。たとえ死したとしても、武士として誇れる死に方ならそれで構わないと。
I could only imagine what Hijikata would have said if he were here. Don't be stupid. You dying would just create a mess for the rest of us. Considering he was the chief of an entire organization, Kondo had a gift for candor. That was why. The thought of possibly losing him was so difficult. How funny you say that. Yeah, about that. He possessed a way of words that resonated deeply in our hearts.
沖田さんが言っていました。近藤局長は皆がついていきたくなる気持ちにさせる魅力があると。その言葉を今改めて実感した気がします。
いやいや、やめてくれ。恥ずかしい。まったくそうじゃ、そんなことを言っていたとは。
He's blushing. Wait a minute. Oh my god, he's blushing. Wait. This is the first. I don't think we've ever seen Kondo blush like that. Oh my god. Ooh.
しかし、 掃除がそんなことを他の者に話すとは珍しいな。
He's proud of his boy. Yes, he also told us some of the old stories from back at Chie Hall. Oh, is this Kondo's turn to give us story time?
司令官か。そう。聞いただろうが、俺は田舎の小さな道場の道場主だったんだ。だがそんな俺が今やこうして武士としてお上のために戦おうとしている。この時点でもう俺の夢は半ばまで叶ったようなものだな。
Kondo grinned from ear to ear, looking at Soma as he spoke.
そういえば相馬くんにとっても今回は新選組に入って以来の大きな戦になるのか。
はい、自分が入ってからは大きな事件もなかったですから。だからここまで来たら全力で働くつもりです。他の人たちに負けないように。
その意気だ。新選組の一員として立派に。
近藤局長
Bruh, are you fucking kidding me? Seemingly out of nowhere, a gunshot fired, and Kondo suddenly choked on his words. Our chief fell to the ground. Blood gushed from his shoulder, pooling beneath him, when suddenly we heard a rustle.
やったか。
いや、浅い。
Bruh.
手段を急げ。
うわ何者だ。
Shimura, no! We need to save Kondo first.
それにまだ他に刺客がいるかもしれません。立ち止まったら危険です。
His shoulder wouldn't stop bleeding. Shimura, watching us from behind, was looking for any sign of the gunman.
そうですね。包囲される前に突破します。早く局長を馬に乗せてください。
I helped lift Kondo, who was soaked in his own blood, onto the horse, and we sprinted through the main road. Oh god. The sound of gunfire echoed behind us as we ran. Oh, okay, cool. They made it. Once we arrived at the magistrate with a wounded Kondo in tow, the place erupted into panic. We carried Kondo, who was writhing in Oh no! No, writers, translators, come on. Come on. We carried Kondo, who was writing in pain, into an empty room, and Yamazaki and I worked to stop the bleeding. Yes, Kondo, he's writing his little journal into the room. Yeah, the writers themselves were thinking too much about writing. So it's showing in the writing right here. God, this is fucking ridiculous. This is supposed to be one of the newer routes too, so you think it'd have less, grammar errors and shit. Some time passed. That evening, Yamazaki and I had been taking turns looking after Kondo, whose condition had stabilized. After Yamazaki took his turn to keep watch, I headed to my room to get some sleep. Kondo was shot right through his shoulder. The bullet had gone through, but the bone had been shattered. Ooh. Its closeness to his carotid artery meant if we didn't treat his injury immediately, he could die. Also, if we hadn't set the bone correctly, he could just as likely never use his arm again. However, this location didn't have the supplies required for an intensive surgery. I was pacing in the hallway, thinking about how to proceed, as I saw a shadow approaching me. Soma. His condition is stabilized, and the gunshot only hit his shoulder. But since we can't do much for him here, he'll only get worse if we don't get him to a doctor as soon as possible. Soma grimaced, tightening his hands into fists. Arthur.
先ほど情報が入りました。襲撃の犯人は
Of course.
五両エジの生き残りの可能性が高いそうです。
Damn. What goes around comes around. Yeah. But we're going to need the baldest doctor in the country. Yeah, the balder the balder, the more competent they are as a doctor. The Guardians? What? Could it be Miki?
直接現場にはいなかったようですが、絡んでいる可能性は十分にあります。奴の新選組への恨みは並々ならぬものがありますから。
In the wee hours of the morning after the Gaburano Koji incident, Miki had cursed us before vanishing back into the darkness. Miki dayo. Every time I remembered the way he hissed towards us with hatred, my hair stood on end. Yeah, they talk about the wee hours, but what about the woo hours, huh? What are those?
どちらにせよ、近藤局長が襲われ、命の危機にあってしまったのは事実。幹部の皆さんは憤っておられました。特に沖田さんは。
Okita has heard already?
はい、先ほど俺が伝えました。
Anyone who considered themselves a member of the Shinsengumi knew just how much Okita respected Kondo. Just imagining the Deltarune explosion on all the captains. Oh man. Hearing that Kondo had been shot would have invited a furious rage. Soma should have known that. Why? Why did you tell him, Soma?
俺が伝えなければいけなかったんです。沖田さんに守るように言われたのに、守り抜くことができなかった。俺が。
なるほど。つまり相馬くんは一番近くにいたのに近藤さんを守れなかったってこと。
はい、申し訳ありません。体を張って守るように言われていたのに。全ては俺の責任です。俺がもっと警戒していれば。
もういい。言っていいよ、相馬くん。言っていいって言ったでしょ。さっさと出て行ってくれる？
待ってください。本当にそれだけですか？
何？殴られたり怒られたりするとでも思った？
はい、その覚悟はできています。腹を切れと言われるのなら。
勘違いしないでくれるかな、相馬くん。もし僕が怒るとしたら君にじゃない。そんな状況なのに動けない僕自身にだよ。そもそも護衛としてついていくことさえできなかった僕に。
Thanks, yeah. I just want to at least play out the scene, but oh fuck.
そう。僕がこんな体じゃなかったら近藤さんについていけた
No, Okita, no.
沖田さん。
それでも君の気持ちが収まらないって言うならいいよ。一度全力で殴ってあげようか。
You may punch him once. So what did Okita do?
殴られました。だけど。
Soma's hand shook as he touched his cheek, but he continued on, wincing as he spoke.
だけど、俺の頬を殴った沖田さんの拳には 何の力もなかった。
Uh-oh.
今まで何度も何度も俺と野村を稽古で叩き伏せてきたのに。その沖田さんがあんなにも。
Oh. Souma. Most likely, if Okita had hit him as hard as he could, Souma would have felt some sort of catharsis. Okita was someone Souma admired greatly, the Shinsengumi's captain of the 1st Division. No matter how hard the two faced off during training, Souma could never even think of beating him. But that didn't seem to be the case anymore. Seeing someone he'd looked up to in such horrible shape must have been deflating for him. I reached out to touch Souma's cheek. It didn't seem like he had been punched at all. His face was completely normal. Right? Isn't deflating such... It's such a weird word to use there. Like, they've been using some weird word choices, I've noticed. Like, it doesn't happen a lot, but there are instances of it. It's like, dog, you don't have to try and come up with creative ways to say this shit. Just say it as it is, because now it just looks fucking weird. And deflating is just... It's a bit much. Shh. Don't move. I held Souma's head tightly, drawing him in towards me in an embrace. Oh, I wanted to comfort him, and relieved the guilt consuming him, even just a little. Yeah, exactly. When I read deflating, that comical balloon sound effect, that one you always hear in cartoons, I heard that in my head. You're too honest. That's why you're so hurt. If he just wanted Okita to know what had happened, he could have sent anyone else to tell him. If he had done so, then he wouldn't be feeling so guilty. But even so, I was sure that was impossible for him. Souma was far too direct and serious. I can't really tell you not to worry, of course. But please, don't put all of this on yourself. When Kondo was shot, you weren't the only one watching it happen. I was there too. Shimura too was there, and he feels just as guilty as we do. No matter what people ask of you, they can't expect you to protect someone all the time. Mr. Kondo, get down! Placing that burden on yourself will tear you apart. As we held each other, I wasn't sure how much time passed. All I knew was it was nighttime, and the stillness was only interrupted by the distant chirp of birds in the distance. Souma slowly pulled away, looking a little embarrassed. Are you okay now? Don't worry about it. Souma, perhaps because he'd only been with us for a short while, seemed guarded at times, which caused me to stop and cherish this moment of vulnerability he was sharing with me. As I was contemplating these thoughts, I could sense someone was approaching us. Who is it?
ここにいたか。
Aha.
相馬、雪村。
土方副長、
何も言うな。あんな少人数で狙撃を完全に防ぐなんてできっこねえ。近藤さんが撃たれたのは護衛の数を増やすと進言しなかった俺の失策だ。
It seemed Hijikata had been feeling the same guilt as us. He was biting his lip as he spoke, and I could see lines of worry on his face. Even more than usual. Hijikata, have you heard anything on what's going to happen to Kondo from here? Although his condition is stable, we can't really do anything more for him here. Then...
分かってる。不幸中の幸いなことに大阪城には松本先生がいるからな。 だから近藤さんには病人の掃除とそっちへ向かってもらう手はずになった。
じゃあ俺は
Soma seemed a little confused, maybe expecting Hijikata to say he would be going with them. It was only natural, since both Soma and Nomura had been serving as Kondo's pages. However, it was clear that being unable to fight with everyone would only serve her to deepen Soma's guilt. Yeah, alright. Server. Fucking hell. As Soma fell silent, Hijikata reached his hand over to his shoulder, patting it lightly.
いや、局長命令だ。もし戦う覚悟がついえていないなら、お前はここに残って戦に加われ。
Hey.
局長命令ですか。
実はさっき少しだけ近藤さんが意識を取り戻して。
自分の友をするのは
Oh.
戦うことのできない者たちだけでいい。
Why so close to the mic, Hijikata? That he sounds so different. That doesn't even sound like Hijikata.
己の心にあるがまま道を選べ。
Wait a minute, is this his fucking Kondo impression?
君は俺の故障である前に
What the
紛れも
fuck
ない
is
一人の
happening?
武士なのだから。
どうする?
I don't know. It feels weird hearing Hijikata do an impression of anyone. Really, I don't know. It just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like a thing he'd do. But okay. Don't quit your day job, Hijikata.
新選組の大使として皆と共にここで戦い抜きます。
I'm so happy for you, Soma.
はい。
He nodded proudly, stopping to stare at me with a twinkle in his eye. Oh, excuse me. He seemed to be caught up in his own thoughts before turning once more to face Hijikata.
土方副長、近藤局長は戦えない者は自分と共に大坂城へ下がれと言っていたんですよね。だったら雪村先輩を一緒に連れて行ってはもらえませんか。
He just wants Yukimura around. Huh? But why?
ここはもうじき戦場になります。先輩はこれまでで雑用にしろ何にしろ十分に役目を果たしたはずです。だから。
Soma looked at me worriedly. Oh fuck. I don't like either of those. I don't like either of those options. Oh, there we go. Confirmed the Soma route. I said nothing. Because are we supposed to... I don't know. Soma was bringing up a good point, and I knew he only had the best of intentions. There wouldn't be much for me to do around here if I couldn't fight. And that's wrong. I don't know. Okay, she has to say I'll stay here. Man. Here. Soma. Kondo said only those who can't fight are the ones who should depart with him, right?
はい。ですから先輩も。
No, it doesn't. I can still fight. Dog! Then fucking fight! Yukimura, come on! Soma looked dubiously at me, but I looked him straight in the eye. As soon as the fighting starts... Oh wait, there we go. There will be men who will suffer injuries, and even more chores. There can never be enough hands. Although I may not be any good with a sword, much less a gun, even so, there's so much that I can do. This is my way of fighting, though it may be different from everyone else's. Yeah, there we go. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's because duties! Soma was taken aback, and I continued. I plan on staying here. I may not be a warrior, but I came this far as a member of the Shinsengumi, and I intend to stay until the end.
ですが、雪村先輩。
Soma looked like he was about to say something. Unexpectedly, however, it was Hijikata who came to my aid. A gun? Imagine Revolver Yukimura. Oh my.
おい相馬
Funny.
こいつを戦場から遠ざけたいってのはどうしてだ。
それはここが危険だからで。
物事は正確に言え。お前はこいつが近藤さんの二の舞になるのを恐れてんだろ。
Soma was stunned, and he couldn't even look at me. Hijikata then turned to face me.
やれやれ。
Wait,
俺としても
I honestly...
本当はお前を大阪城に同行させるつもり
Does
だ。
Soma know that Yukimura is an Oni? I forgot if that was mentioned or not, or like I'm questioning it, because I was under the assumption that he was told that she was. I don't... Cause the rest of the team knows? Or like the captains? I don't know.
こうと決まりゃテコでも動きそうにねえな。
For gore, yeah.
他の連中には
Me too.
これから伝えといてやるよ。
Think he knows. Yeah, I'm also on the same boat. But, yeah, like, yeah, like Soma, dog. Yukimura will be fine. She can heal.
相馬
Right. I think they told him when they were filling him in all the secrets too.
雪村の護衛だ。逃げるんじゃねえ。今度はきっちり役目を果たしてみせろ。
Hijikata waved his hand lightly. Then he spun on his heel and walked away. I gave a silent thank you to Hijikata. The words of Hijikata and Kondo are ones that I will treasure for as long as I live. However, I could wager that they had been engraved even deeper in Soma's heart.
一つ聞かせてください。雪村先輩はどうしてそこまでしてここに残ろうとするんですか？
Duties, duh, Soma. Well...
以前聞きました。先輩はもともとお父上が見つかればすぐに新選組を去るつもりだったと。
That's true. Originally, at least. And I didn't think I'd be with the Shinsengumi as long as I have. I was just terrified, if I'm being honest, of the warriors. I thought every day that they would just kill me. But the more time I spent with them, the more I felt like I belonged with the Shinsengumi. Come to think of it, I was just like Soma. Keeping this in mind, I looked straight at him and continued. If someone I cared about deeply had lost their life while I was far away from them, I think it'd be a regret I couldn't ever get over. They got the romantic music going on. I'd be obsessed with thinking, if I were there, could I have done something? In reality, of course, it was probably unlikely that I'd be able to do anything about it, even if I was there. But even so, I wanted to live free from the burden of regret. And besides, I can't just abandon you like this. I don't want to leave you all by yourself. All by myself. Wait, oh my god, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I heard in my mind that Soma was going to the castle because Kondo was injured, so it's like, yeah, he's got to take care of his master, right? So he's staying. Okay. He seemed to remember how he'd broken down in front of me earlier. My last statement was said partly in jest, but Soma's face turned red out of embarrassment. I smiled kindly towards him, offering a question. I can ask the same question to you, Soma. What's keeping you here? You have the choice to leave with Kondo since you're his page.
それはきっと先輩と同じだと思います。俺はこの新選組の歩む道を、新選組の戦いをもっと見ていたい。俺にとって新選組はようやくたどり着いた本当の武士を目指すことができる場所なんです。 俺も彼らの隣を歩いていきたい。新選組の描く夢の果てをどこまでも。
Right, I'm the same way. I stand no chance on the front lines of the battlefield. I've lived almost my entire life being protected. But even if it isn't on the battlefield, I want to witness the fate of the Shinsengumi until the end. As my voice trailed away, Soma stepped closer to me.
雪村先輩。
Oh, okay, here.
小指を出してもらえませんか?
Sure, but why? Oh, pinky promise. You're gonna pinky swear, Yukimura. Just a close up of the pinkies. Look at those fingies. Soma grabbed my hand tenderly, and he wrapped his pinky finger around mine. There was a pinky promise. I think it was the other loud boy, Nagakura. I'm pretty, yeah, that's right. Because I think he was all like, yeah, I promise I'll protect you, Yukimura. Little sis. I think it was him. I felt his heat from our entwined fingers. It was as if, for the first time, Soma was revealing to me his true force of will. Surprised, I almost panicked. Oh, there we go. Oh. Soma? What's gotten into you? Look at them. Look at him. He's pinky swearing. They'll never be broken. Never. Soma? What's gotten into you?
謝らせてください。先ほどの土方副長の言葉は事実です。先輩も知っての通り、俺は局長を守るという誓いを果たせなかった。だから怖くて、守るべきあなたを遠ざけようと思ってしまった。
Which of these would be the funniest character to pinky promise with? Hijikata, Sanan, or Kazuma? I think Kazuma, because I feel like he's way too arrogant to do something like a pinky promise. Like, it just feels like something that would be beneath him, so it would just feel so unexpected that it's like, oh, okay. That's what makes it funny.
でも、今のあなたの言葉で分かりました。大切なものを遠ざけてはきっと後悔する。守るなら隣で守りたい。だから。
He gripped my fingertip a little tighter. And to reciprocate, I held onto his pinky even tighter as well.
俺はこの戦いであなたを守り抜くと誓います。
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wait. Don't go. Log. Play his voice again. Log, I'm sorry. But that we'll end after I replay his line. Here.
俺はこの戦いであなたを守り抜くと誓います。
It sounds so intense with the serious music
何
too.
が相手であろうとも。
Okay, there we go. Now I'm happy. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And we just reached 2-hour runtime a few minutes ago, so perfect. Go back to the title screen. But yeah, we've made some good progress. Now we're finally on, we're officially on Soma's main route. Like, we're confirmed we're on the route, so yeah, it's all gonna keep being new from here. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning into the stream. As always, love chatting with you guys and hanging out. If you're just watching, always glad to be entertainment. Oh shit. God damn it, fucking Instagram didn't post my post. Ugh. Alright. But, let's see. Anyways, next should be Fallout New Vegas. Let me just double check on that. Is it? Yeah, Wait, what? I'm confused. Hold on. I think... Isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Fallout New Vegas is next. Okay. I don't know why I'm tripping. But yeah, thank you guys once again for tuning into the stream. As always, love chatting with you guys and hanging out. Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for nuclear winter. Hell yeah. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Yeah, Fallout New Vegas later today, so look forward to that. But GG's, yeah, absolutely. Alright, take care, y'all. Matanene, my dudes. Hope you guys have a lovely rest of your night. And yeah. Or night or day. Yeah, depending on where you are. But yeah, stay safe out there, y'all, and peace out.